Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. I can't wait. We are drinking the legendary New York Bourbon. By Widow Jane. And we're drinking all of the whole lineup of their available bourbons. And by available, I mean available to me. We are going to go through these here. We are missing the 15-year, which is their Vaults release. Don't have that one. Pretty expensive. It was like $250. So Bourbon Bill's wife would leave him if he spent $250 on a Widow Jane bourbon. So we're doing without that one tonight. Now, these have been poured blind by my wife, so we're going to go through them, give some tasting notes. They'll be on the screen for you to see as I go through them. I will, of course, rank them and try to guess what they are. But as usual, let's take a look at the bottles. First up, Widow Jane 10-year. So this is just their standard shelf bourbon here in PA. $69.99 for the full size 750. This is a 375, but $70. You know, kind of expensive, right? It's more than some other lower proof 10 years out there. But we'll see how it is tonight. This is for those that care. Batch 204, bottle number 1144, and a date of 2020 on it. Coming in at a mild 91 proof. So there's a lot of fun facts on this label. So we won't read them all, but just a few right from the front here. Aged 10 years in new American oak barrels. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's got to be done. It's got to be new American oak to be considered bourbon. And they do say blend of straight bourbons. Now, they also claim it's pure limestone mineral water from the legendary Rosendale mines of New York. So funny enough, I read some article that they don't actually have a working relationship with the Rosendale mines. They bought a property adjacent to it, and the underground water reservoir is on that property too. So a little fishy, I've heard, for them using that on these bottles. Now I can't wait to see, a New York bourbon. How's their bourbon? Oh wait, it says here Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. So that's right, Widow Jane's a non-distilling producer. For those that didn't know that, all three of these actually are going to be a blend of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. So what does that mean? That means, well, obviously Dickel, MGP from Indiana, and we're going to guess Barton, probably Barton from Kentucky, but we don't know. Now, there's a few key words on here that we need to pay attention to. Reviving the lost art of marrying the finest bourbons. I guess no one else is doing that? Seems kind of odd. Hand assembled in Brooklyn. Well, how else are you going to do this? Robots? And then we got using only the richest and rarest straight bourbons. I'm not sure that 10 years is the rarest. Could be wrong. Only ever in 5-barrel batches. Okay, small batch. Non-chill filtered. Well, that's good to know. Then it says right here, we deliver a whiskey unique in its intensity and complexity. Well, we will find out tonight. Alright, next up. The old black label, Widow Jane Lucky 13. Are we feeling lucky tonight? Because this bottle is coming in at a little bit higher, 93 proof. Alright, we're moving up. We are moving up. This says age 13 years in American oak. Although I think the other bottle said new American oak. This just says American oak. So a little odd they got rid of that wording, but it is still a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. So still got to be new American oak. We still have the fancy spiel about, the legendary Rosendale mine water on this one. Though a lot less common. We have here batch 14, bottle 233, and a date of 2021. So a little newer, but they haven't done as many batches of the 13 year. We also got another Little fun age 13 year just on the side there. So you can tell from the side, this ain't young whiskey. Now on the back. This unique offering arises from a select group of barrels whose warehouse position has led to whiskeys of unusually rich and flavorful character. Aged for a minimum of 13 years. Alright. Hand assembled again. That's kind of that funny word there in Brooklyn. Non-chill filtered. So, there you go. Hopefully that's better. This bottle in PA, $99.99. So, you know, simple $100 bill if you want their 13 year. So really, $30 more than the 10 year. So we are talking $10 more a year, moving up from the 10 to the 13. Last but not least, we have Widow Jane Decadence. I mean, what a beautiful bottle. Look at like the copper shiny lettering on here. Whoo! Little neck tag. My gosh, we are dripping opulence off this bottle. The rarest, well, I shouldn't say that. I believe the Vaults, which this year was a 15 year, well in 2021 it was a 15 year. I believe that's the rarest one they produce, but this is probably the second rarest bourbon they produce. In PA, these are $89.99 a bottle. Only ever released once a year in PA, as far as I know. But this is only batch number 4, date of 2021, and bottle 177. So the rarest thing that they produce, I guess we'll say regularly, besides their Vaults collection, which is very expensive. Like I said, their Vaults collection, which I don't have, are always $250. Very expensive. But what's special about Widow Jane Decadence, beyond that sweet sounding name, it says a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys finished in maple syrup barrels. And then instead of an age statement, we get aged to perfection. So kind of odd they took away the the age statement on these. The neck tag here says Crown Maple Syrup. So I believe they're using Crown maple barrels here. But let's see what the back says. Widow Jane Decadence, again, in the shimmery copper. There is no other word to describe this, but they're going to try. We took some of our legendary bourbons and finished them in barrels that held New York's finest artisanal maple syrup from Crown Maple. The result is a rich, creamy smooth, and slightly sweet mouthful of whiskey flavor that is way beyond good. It's decadent. Wow. Whoever wrote that earned their paycheck that month. So this is also in there. So we're going to see if we can pick out, the maple. These have all been opened, so we're not talking, fresh neck cracks on any of these. They've all been opened and enjoyed. So we're going to get to tasting them now. All right. First up tonight, the Green Glencairn. Let's give this a nosing. Gosh. Oh, smells so good. So good. I get leather, oak. I get a little bit of orange zest, which I believe is a Dickel coming through. It's not overpowering, but I can smell it. It smells well aged. It honestly does. There are some baking spices on there as well. Some caramel, some vanilla. It's really a wonderfully complex nose. Let's take a sip. Wow. I mean, pretty much everything from the nose translated to the palate. Mouth feels a little thin. It's got a pretty good finish to it. I get definitely oak, the leather, a lot of caramel, a little bit of vanilla. The baking spices come through on the end. And there is that I call it orange zest. A lot of people call it that Dickel vitamin note. It's there. It's faint, but it is present. Next up is the Blue Glencairn. See if the nose is any different. I'm getting kind of subdued, like The similar notes are there, but I had to work harder to bring them out. I'm not really getting any leather. I'm getting just like a general confectioner sugar sweetness on this nose here. A hint of oak, but not nearly as much. I might even get a little bit of fruit on this. Like a stone fruit though, not a red fruit of any kind. Maybe like a faint hint of peaches. Alright, let's take a sip. That was delicious. Very oily on the mouthfeel, very creamy. Loads of sweetness. I mean, this was the most sweet one yet. If I had to guess, this is it's probably the Decadence. It's way more subdued in terms of like the first one was very complex. This one's complex, but it has a heavy load of sweetness, almost like syrup. But it doesn't taste like maple, but it is fairly creamy, and it has like a heavier, thicker mouthfeel on it. And the finish really goes on this one. I really enjoy this one. Alright, last but not least, the Gold Glencairn. We are back to just another delicious nose. They're all very similar. So similar things. I'm getting a little bit of leather, a little bit of oak. I would say about the same as glass number 2, the blue glass. Not as much as the green. But I'm getting more vanilla on this. This is probably the most vanilla of the 3 so far on the nose. Let's take a sip. So that one's very good. I would say I get the most of that Dickel orange zest from that. It really comes through stronger. Shorter finish than either the previous 2. Still a very complex, easy sipper though. All of 3 of these are crushable. More of the Dickel note there, and there's some caramel at the end. So I'm going to guess that's the 10-year. Only because I'm not getting as much oak, and the nose is a little more subdued than the green glass. So I'm going to go back through these off camera, then I'll come back with my rankings and predictions, and we'll see if I was right or wrong. Alright, and we're back. So I have my final rankings. In first place is the green Glencairn. So the reason I put this in first, just the complexity of flavor was higher than the other 2. The nose was the best. As far as mouthfeel though, it was just a tad thin. I thought glass number 2, which is the blue glass, the nose was a little bit subdued compared to the green glass, but overall a super thick and creamy mouthfeel that I very much enjoyed. Good flavors overall, just a heavy layer of sweetness. So that's why this one got second. Then last place was the Gold. Also very good, very complex in its flavors for the proof points. But I just got more of the Dickel note on this. And it's not that I don't like Dickel. I just think the other ones were better and brought more to the table than this offering right here. So predictions. I think the green glass is the 13-year. I think the blue glass is the Decadence. And I believe the gold glass is the 10-year. So let me get the answer key and see if I was right. Alright. In third place tonight was the gold glass, which was the 10-year. And in second place was blue, the Decadence. And in first place was green, which was the Lucky 13. So I called them exactly as it was tonight. Kind of, I almost expected the Decadence might win because I have such a sweet tooth. And I will say that all 3 of these were delicious. The 13-year brings, as you would guess, more complexity and age, which I really enjoy. So if you like more complex, more age, the 13's for you. If you're all about the mouthfeel and you love sweet bourbons, this is for you, the Decadence. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Have a great evening, everybody.